Hello and welcome to Become the Teapot. I'm Iain.
And so am I. This episode, we're going back to where it all Batman began as we watch Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins. We'll also be discussing Batman Year One by Frank Miller and David Mazzucchelli, a sensitive coming-of-age tale that tells the story of how one Batboy became a Batman. So Batman Year One, reading it for the first time, what were your first impressions?
I thought it was really good, actually. It's very fast-paced, which I like, but I kind of wish that it did spend a little bit more time on certain aspects.
Yeah.
Also, it sort of skips through the months very, very quickly, which kind of has that vibe of the Long Halloween.
Yes, yeah, because obviously it's called Year One, so it tells the story of Batman's first year as a crime fighter. So it does skip through those months very quickly, and it's only 4 issues of the Batman ongoing comic book, Batman 404 to 407.
Yeah.
It has to cover about a quarter of the year in each issue, give or take. So, yeah, it does skip through events quite quickly. And you add to that the fact that it is not just telling Batman's story, but also this is very much Jim Gordon Year One.
Yeah.
It details his first year in the city as well.
That's pretty much what I put down. I mean, I would say it's as much, if not more, of a Jim Gordon origin story than it is a Batman.
Yeah.
It is split between them both, but I think that this goes into the background of Jim more than it does Bruce.
Yeah, no, definitely. And you've got the dual narration between Bruce Wayne and Jim Gordon, and you see a lot more of Jim's home life.
Yeah.
Which I think his home life and his work life are so inextricably linked that you're going to, whereas Bruce doesn't have much of a home life. The only snippet you really see of it is the one he wants Jim to see, him being hung over with a supermodel,
Yeah.
as they come and visit. That's the only real social aspect you see of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he uses some sort of juice or whatever it is to be the wine or whatever. It's all a big facade.
Yes.
So he's putting on this show going, I'm a playboy, I'm drunk. And then as soon as he leaves, he's like, right, back to crime.
Yeah, which we get a bit of in the film.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that's ever really, my memory of some of those early Batmans are hazy. We see him going to galas and being a bit flamboyant, but it's never shown to be an act. It's never shown to be this sort of real facade, as you say, in the previous films. Whereas in The Dark Knight and Batman Begins, you see a lot more of it as the act, as that's his mask, as Katie Holmes says. Rachel Dawes, I should probably say her character, as she says, yeah, it's his mask. So yeah, I agree with you that this is as much, if not more, Jim Gordon's Year One than it is Batman's.
Yeah, and I do like the ending as well. So comparing it to the film, it ends in a very similar way. They probably put that into the film as some sort of Easter egg.
Well, in that case, it seems like a perfect time to move on to Iain's Egg Hunt. Iain's Egg Hunt. Iain's Egg Hunt.
I'm not yoking you. So in the comic, it ends with Gordon saying that someone's threatened to poison the reservoir, and he calls himself the Joker. And then in the film, it's obviously brought to screen in a different way, but he gets this sort of playing card in a bag. And as he flips it over and passes it to Batman, you do see on the label that it was covered by J. Kerr.
Okay.
Which I thought's quite a nice little play on words.
It's quite on the nose, but yeah.
And then, as I often like to do, point out small cameos. So in one of the boardroom meetings, there's a guy called Fredericks, and the actor who played that is actually Christopher Nolan's uncle.
Oh, right.
I think he's been in a couple of other Christopher Nolan films, but I couldn't tell you which ones.
Christopher Nolan is a director who likes to reuse the same actors quite a lot, even in smaller roles, so wouldn't be surprised.
And speaking of cameos, one of the cops that are chasing Batman across the tops of the roofs in the Batmobile car chase scene is played by Larry Franco. He was actually a co-producer on Batman Returns.
Oh, right.
Again, quite nice.
Yeah.
And this is a little bit odd, but can you pull up the official soundtrack of this film, please?
I can. Yeah. Makes great listening. Okay, yeah. What do you want me to look at?
Have a look at the titles of the tracks. Does anything seem unusual to you?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Is that they're all named after bats?
No, have a look at track 4 to track 9, it actually spells out.
Oh yeah, it actually spells out Batman. Yeah. That's a really cool touch. Yeah, because obviously all of the songs themselves are named after bats. And yeah, tracks 4 through 9 spell out Batman.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I thought that was a very nice thing of doing. It was just very unusual.
No, that's cool. I did not know that. That's genuinely something I did not know before. That is a very interesting fact.
And going on from our previous Batman episode, I mentioned about Catwoman being foreshadowed in the second one. So I thought I'd do some more forced foreshadowing.
Forced shadowing.
In the scene where Wayne makes everyone leave his party, because obviously Raz has turned up, he calls everyone phonies. And he says, all of you are two-faced friends.
Yeah. Of course, a reference to his biggest villain, the Phony.
Exactly, who makes an appearance in Dark Knight.
Yeah, it's another thing that, yeah, sure, it's a reference. Why not?
I don't actually believe it. I just thought I'd chuck it in there for a little bit of laughs.
It's definitely in there. I won't deny that. All right, well, fair enough. Good foreshadowing. Well, thank you very much. Another week of Iain's Egg Hunt concluded. Any other business?
Yeah, actually. Something that I thought of as a joke when I was watching it. This could be a fan theory that I've created, or it could be a fan theory that's out there.
Okay, what's your fan theory that you think you've come up with?
So, would you say that Batman Begins is a Taken sequel?
No.
Let's look at the facts
No,
before you answer.
let's not bother.
No, I'm doing it. So, number 1, Ducard clearly knows how to fight. And Brian Mills was a former Green Beret and a CIA officer.
Despite being obviously Irish, but yes.
2, Ducard says that he wasn't always at the top of the mountain.
Yep.
And then fact 3, he says that his wife was taken. And Brian Mills' wife was kidnapped in Taken 2 and murdered in Taken 3.
Yes. No, that is.
I rest my case.
It's a solid case to be resting on. I'll just say one thing, is that Ducard is clearly a man with the ability to climb over a fence in less than 14 cuts. So no, I don't think that this is a sequel to Taken.
As I said, it was something that I thought of as a joke, and then I looked at the point and I thought, actually, I might have just created a ridiculous fan theory there.
You may do. Well, let me know how you get on with that. Spread it around and see what happens.